Hey guys, welcome to Currently Cringing. So many of you loved the episode on rejection and resilience. And I know this is a comedy podcast and we've been talking a lot about some heavy things and manifestation, but that's just because that's what's happening right now. If you'll listen to the podcast from the first episode to now, you've literally been with me on this entire journey of quantum leaping and manifesting. We've come so far. When I recorded the first episode, I was literally in my parents' bedroom with nothing. Family Karma had just aired. I believe we were in mid-season 1 and we were in the pandemic. So from October 2020 to now, May 2024, look at the progress we've made. And it's been a schlep. We've been in the trenches. It's been a struggle. It's been an uphill climb. And we're here now. We're still not at the top, but we're on our way. And I just want you to know that it's a daily work. Just like this podcast, from then to now, it's a non-stop grind. And if you stop, then the dream stops, which is why you have to keep going. That's all this is. That's all it is. Whoever believes it the most gets to the finish line. It's not that anyone's better. It's all about who believes in themselves the most and who believes that they deserve whatever it is they want. So if people are ahead of you in the game, they put in the work and they believe they deserve it. And they had no sharm. They probably did whatever it took. They asked anyone and everybody for favors with no sharm, because that's what I do, hon. I'm telling you guys right now. I email everyone and their mother. I don't care if I look like a freak. I don't care if I'm blocked. Shoot or shoot. Shoot your shot. And that's in every area of life. But a lot of you loved that episode and, messaged me like, oh my God, was it the BMW ad? Like, yeah. BMW guys, from rejecting all those brands, some of them, many of them, very well, but I was getting lowballed and I knew I deserve better. I'm worth more than whatever these fuckers are offering me. And my talent, my comedy, my time is valuable. And it was tough turning down all those opportunities. The money adds up. And my husband was frustrated. He was eye rolling me to hell. And I was like, no, you don't get it. I'm not aligned with these brands. A, I don't use these products. And B, they're not paying me enough to talk about them. And I know they're paying white people more. And lo and behold, I woke up one day, like I said, and had this email in my inbox from BMW and the Newsette. No questions asked. They were like, we love you. This is what we want to pay you. I didn't have to show them my insights. I didn't have to prove to them that I deserve this. I didn't have to do a goddamn thing. Okay. These people emailed me and gave me this opportunity, handed it to me on a silver platter. I didn't have to do anything. And that's what happens when you're aligned. And then I went to Netflix as a joke. That's right. Your girl went to fucking Netflix as a joke. And I told you I'm moving in silence these days because I have been burned and betrayed one too many times by people in my own life, people that I love, people in my inner circle, people that are my so-called best friends have betrayed me and burned me, which is why I move in silence now. You either get it or you don't. And a lot of people were upset that I didn't tell them that I was going to Netflix as a joke, or that, I had BMW, or they thought oh, she thinks she's better. Guess what? The minute people start telling you that you've changed, or that you think you're better, or that you're all that, guess what? You're on the escalator, hon. You are on your way to the next level, and not everyone can go with you to the next level. I am not telling people my moves anymore for me. I told you in the last podcast, I am finally taking a page out of my mother's book. I am finally listening to my mother's advice my entire life. She was like, fake it till you make it. Tell people what they want to hear. And guess what? I have 48 Laws of Power, okay? That book. I already know all those games, okay? I was born into a brown family. If you're born into a brown or immigrant family, or if you were the only person of your race or ethnicity in your environment, in my case, my entire school, most of my life, you already know the 48 laws of power. It's built in from your experiences. I have that book because I bought it for my husband because I was like, read this because you're too fucking nice and you grew up with parents that said they loved you and that you were amazing, and not like most of us who had like the typical tough love boomer parents. I don't know what happened to him, but like because of that, he's so kind and he always sees the glass half full. And that's how you should be, except he's also not cognizant of people that are pieces of shit. And that's where I come in, because I can spot a piece of shit from outer space. And your gut will tell you, okay, that's the gift of discernment, okay? When you start listening to your gut, it only becomes more powerful. If you start feeling tingly, if you start getting the butterflies, if your body reacts in any way negatively around someone, that's your body telling you, like, hey, this person's a piece of shit. Don't bring them into your life. And always keep your enemies close, okay? No one needs to know that they're your enemy, hon. No one needs to know. Some of my friends don't know that I know that they're my enemies, that I know what they've done behind my back. Because I told you in the last podcast, again, I'm no longer stirring shit. I'm no longer confronting you. I'm just distancing myself from you. That's all that's going to happen. And I wish you the best from a distance. You're just not going to be eligible for my time anymore. And that's how your time should be. Your time should only be for a few people. And this may sound harsh and I may sound like a complete asshole, but guess what? In the quantum leap, future Anisha, who has everything she's been dreaming and working for, guess what? She doesn't talk to people and doesn't indulge in people and doesn't hang out with people who don't actually like her. She doesn't hang out with people who speak negatively about her. She doesn't spend time with people who don't value her. And she absolutely does not engage with people who aren't worthy of her time. Future you already has all the things you want, so mentally get there. And mentally also means disassociating with things in your current reality that don't fit into your future reality. Because it's all the same, remember? Because we said different timelines are happening at the same time, hon. Time is happening right now. The future is already there. It's happening as we speak. We just have to get there. And the only way to get there is our mind. That's the only way to speed things up. Otherwise, we're just going to be stuck in our current reality on this path that a lot of us don't want to be on, okay? We're trying to jump. You're either with me on this journey or you're not. And so how did Netflix as a joke happen? Because let me tell you, it should have happened. Okay, it did happen. But as I said in the last podcast, I had, for lack of a better word, I'm trying to be polite. I didn't have a good manager. Okay, I didn't have a good manager. And this manager was supposed to submit me to Netflix as a joke last summer. When we parted ways in December, I realized she never did. I realized she didn't do anything, actually. And that's fine, because we parted ways amicably, but she kind of fucked me over. And so from December to literally the weekend before Netflix as a joke, I was emailing everyone and their mother to be a part of the festival. And you can't really get into these things unless you have an agent or a manager that's reputable, that people in the industry know. And you could have someone reputable and they can be useless. But the reason I stayed so long with my previous manager is because it's better to have one than no one at all. And that sucks because there's a lot of gatekeeping and you can't just email people yourselves, right? Like in this industry, or they're going to block you or they're just not going to reply because by law, they can't accept unsolicited materials. And that could be like someone sent them a book, right? And then the movie gets made and then that person sues them because a similar movie was made. Things like that. They have to protect themselves. And I understand, but the industry's changing, okay? These agents and managers, unless you're a really big star, they're not really doing much for you these days. Okay. Because people seem to be doing it themselves on social media. Having said that, if you have a great manager or agent, hold on to them because they're not easy to come by. So anywho, your girl was emailing, because I don't take no for an answer, emailing everyone and their mother, and nothing was really happening. And I knew in my heart, like, I deserve to be at this festival. And not only do I deserve to be part of this festival, I deserve to have a show at this festival because I've put in the work. Okay. And I've done it in reverse. A lot of people go into comedy and dream of being on a TV show. Okay. That's their goal. And they probably don't think of Bravo TV as their dream. They probably are thinking of a dream show on Netflix, or back in the day, you wanted to be on a sitcom or have your own show, something like that. Well, in my case, I've already been on TV. Okay. So I started at the top, and people can knock it. They can say whatever they want. Bravo is the creme de la creme of cable TV channels. Okay. If anyone is watching a cable TV channel, it's probably going to be Bravo. That's what people are watching. So people can knock it and say it was reality TV. Guess what? It was fucking Bravo. And Bravo has its own universe. Okay. Whether we're watching or not, they have their own world. They have their own fandom, and it's powerful. And you can take advantage if you're on a hit show. I was not on a hit show, so I'm doing the most right now. I was on a loved show, but I wasn't on a hit show. And the cherry on top is that I'm brown. And I've had agents, managers, so many people ghost me or tell me they want to meet me and then literally pick a day and time and then ghost me. It's really bizarre. People in this industry are strange, to say the least. It is definitely not like corporate America. And you have to take people for their actions. You can't take them for their words, because most of the time everyone's a gas bag, okay, in this industry. People are just talking air, like they're just spewing farts out of their mouth, which I guess is a burp, and that's really disgusting, and I don't know why I said that, but there you go. So it's down to the wire, and I've done all sorts of outlandish things to get to this festival, meaning like I've called friends to call people, I've been referred, and nothing. And it's now Sunday before the festival. And I tell my husband, like, you know what? Everyone at Netflix can block me. I'm just going to send one last email. I'm going to send an email to the head of comedy and an email to the chief content officer. And so I emailed them both. And I don't know what happened because I had emailed them before. Because remember, I've been solo since December. And they fucking reply. And they're like, we would love to have you at the festival. And your girl shook because I literally sent those emails as I told my husband, they're probably going to block me, but I'm just going to email one last time. And my husband happened to be available that weekend as well, and he hasn't been to LA in 8 years, whereas I had just been there, performing in December. And so we decided to make a weekend trip out of it and see my siblings because both my brother and my sister live in LA as well. And I signed up to perform and I had my show. And I know a lot of people were like, oh my God, I would have come. I didn't know you were there. Well, that's why you didn't know I was there, because I didn't know I was going to be there. I mean, I knew I was going to be there. And that's what I talk about quantum leaping. What I mean, mentally, I was like, I'm going to fucking be there. But then when it was coming down to the wire, I started to lose hope. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it one more shot. And guess what? I was at the festival. And so we flew to LA. It's a 40 minute flight, literally, from Scottsdale. It's a joke, which is nice because I hate long flights. I'm actually going on a flight tonight in about 4 hours to New York City, but I'm taking the red eye and I have not packed, but anything for you guys first. And so we got to LA, and usually when I have a show, I know like you guys are going to be there. You're going to love it. And I've opened for a lot of people who have had audiences that don't know who I am, and I've crushed it. And so I didn't have time to tell anyone that I was going to be there. So I didn't know who was going to be at this show. And so I had my show and I did not know who was in the audience, but guess what? They loved the show. And it just, again, reiterated for me that, okay, you are on the right track. You're on the right path. You make anybody laugh. It doesn't matter who's there. You make them laugh. It's not just people who watch Family Karma, because a lot of people who came to my shows, all of last year, it's because they watched Family Karma. But in the meantime, a lot of people who saw my ads, who just thought the ads were funny, came to the shows just to check me out. And then now they're a new fan and they've never seen Family Karma. And because of my comedy show, they're watching Family Karma or they're going to tune in. And so it was really awesome to be part of Netflix is a Joke festival and to have people in the audience who had no idea who I was, but they laughed at my jokes. They loved my comedy. They loved my content. And that's really what you strive for as a comedian. You want to make people laugh regardless of who they are or what their background is, their ethnic background or where they're from. Like, you just want everyone to laugh. And I don't cater my jokes for everyone. It's definitely niche comedy. I talk about getting married older and not having children and being a dink and being brown and growing up brown and a lot of those things that aren't common, but my comedy is relatable. And so you laugh, even though you have a totally different life path and completely different story from me. A lot of people come to my shows and they're married with kids. And I'm here talking about getting married at 38, but they're still laughing. And so that's really what comedy is about. It doesn't matter what I look like or who I am. It's the delivery. It's about the jokes. And there's no one in my way. There's no gatekeeping. There's no executive. It's just me and the audience. There's no one telling me what to say. There's no one editing me. It's just me, you, and the stage. And so I got to meet some amazing people. I met people who had Netflix specials already. It was like really an eye-opening experience. And it just motivated me to do better, be better. One thing I did notice though, and I've noticed this throughout my time in comedy so far, is that everyone seems to have the same story. They're all like, I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been doing this for a decade. I've been doing this for 20 years. And then you ask them how old they are and they're like 25 or 30. And you're like, okay, so then that means you were doing this in high school, which is complete asinine bullshit. And if that's the case, well, then I won an Oscar in the fucking womb because I was born a Ramakrishna. And it doesn't take 15 years to become funny. You're either funny or you're not. So I don't understand this whole like having to say that you've been struggling for 10 years. And remember, I'm all about manifesting and quantum leaping and definitely putting in the work. But like for me, remember, we're manifesting and affirming that everything comes easily to me. Say it with me right after I said it. Everything comes easily to me. Good things come my way easily all day, every day, hun. I'm not trying to have a 15-year struggle. If that's the case, I'll just enjoy my life now because then I'll be 55. And it's never too late. That's what they all say. And I do believe that. But your girl's manifesting wealth in her youth. Okay. I'm already mad that I wasn't uber rich in my 20s. Okay. I don't want to have a Lambo or a Bentley when I'm 50 or 60. I want one yesterday. And that's okay. It's okay to like money. It's okay to want nice things. I was talking to another comedian friend the other day, and she's really woke and in a good way, she's awesome. But, she was rambling about being relatable and catering to the masses. And it's like, that's great, hun, but you have to be you. That's the only way this is going to work. And that's why I have to be me. Okay. I am manifesting through my social media accounts, through my comedy, through Family Karma. Okay. I've been manifesting. I've been using all these platforms to manifest. I am not going to show you the coffee I'm buying at LaGuardia when I land from Dunkin'. Okay. I'm going to show you the cake at the Hermes Cafe when I'm there in Tokyo in June for my husband's birthday. Okay. We're doing both, but I'm only going to show you the stuff I'm manifesting. And that's wholly in part because I'm brown, okay? I've been told my entire life to be quiet, to do as I'm told, to listen, to be subordinate, to not have an opinion, to speak when I'm spoken to. And then when I've seen myself on TV for the most part, it's never someone conventionally attractive up until recently. Or we're on the news in a village with cows, okay? And so as someone brown who does have good taste, who does have a good eye, who is compassionate, who is relatable, who is on her way, who is busting her ass, I want to show you the bougie brown girl. Okay. There's enough people showing you the brown girls that are suffering and miserable and hates herself. I want to show you the opposite. Okay. That's what we did with Family Karma. We wanted to show you that, guess what? We love being Indian. All our friends are Indian. We want to be with Indian people for the most part. And we love our culture and our families are crazy, but they love us and we love them. Okay. None of this suffering, none of this humility. Okay. We have enough of that in the brown community. We have enough people telling us to be humble, to be noble, and to save our money and not to spend it. Okay. I'm following a different path. I am saving what I can, but life is short. Okay. And if you're making money, you have to enjoy that money. Money is meant to be spent and you have to believe that you will get more. Save your money, but also don't hoard your money. Okay. I grew up with boomers that hoarded money. Okay. My parents and a lot of our friends' parents, the Indian mentality is to hoard money, except money makes money and money is currency. Get it? Currency. Currents need to flow. Currents need to circulate. Money is like water. They embody the same energy. And so I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy my money. And that's what I talk about a lot. Normalize liking money, liking nice things. And like I've said at my comedy shows, I grew up thinking I was poor. It's just my parents, were immigrants and they saved money. They didn't spend money. And as someone who is making a lot more money later in life, I want to enjoy it better now than never. And I did make a lot of money in New York, but, I spent it all on traveling and I did a lot of things alone. And now I want to spend money and enjoy with my husband. He's probably like, who's enjoying more, me or you? He's sitting next to me as I record this. And something does happen to you when you're about to turn 40. I've just been really emo and not like, oh, nostalgia, depressed, where did the time go? Like, no, in fact, I've been emo about just everyone around me getting older and knowing that, I'm getting older too. And there's so much more I want to do in life. And I want it all to happen while I'm still young. And I want my parents and my loved ones to witness it. My older relatives, I want them to see my success. And I'm talking about great success. I've been successful. I am successful. There are personal goals that I want to reach that I have not reached yet. But again, life isn't all about goals and ambition. It's about enjoying the moment, enjoying time with the people you love. And that's really what life is about. And that's really what LA was about. I was very happy to be able to participate at Netflix as a joke. But more than that, I got to spend time with my brother and my sister, with my husband, and we actually loved LA. We loved going to LA. In the recent times I've been there, it's always been a rush and I've had to perform and leave. And we actually just spent a good 3 days enjoying the different neighborhoods. We went to this amazing Mediterranean restaurant. I don't know if it's Armenian. Everyone there was Armenian. It was in Glendale, or Persian, but the restaurant was called Rafi's Place. If you're in the Glendale area or in California and LA, definitely hit it up. And I loved La La Land Cafe. They're a matcha cafe. And if you're a matcha fiend like me, holy hell, it was some of the best matcha I've ever had. And I'm looking forward to my Japan trip for my husband's birthday in June. I'm going to have all the matcha I can. And then we went to this little Russian place in West Hollywood called Traktir. Traktir, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but they had the most delicious beet salad, and we washed it down with some horseradish vodka and fennel garlic vodka, and it was incredible. And they were so nice over there. And then, of course, we went to Din Tai Fung. And if you don't know, Din Tai Fung is a soup dumpling house out of China. And I've actually been to Din Tai Fung in Shanghai, and they have the most delicious dumplings you can imagine, the most decadent sesame noodles. I mean, everything they have there, and it tastes just like it did in China. So if you want anything authentic, and if you're in LA or even in New York, I know they just opened one there, head to Din Tai Fung. We had the chocolate Nutella dumplings. Wow, out of this world. And they served it with this salted sweet cream. I'm just salivating talking about it. We went to Malibu, and we went to Malibu Farm, and we saw dolphins there. And I was shook because these things were massive. I was like, are you sure they're dolphins? They look like whales. And there were a few of them. So, you know me, I was like, those are killer whales. And they were like, no, they're dolphins. Calm down. And they said they never appear because a lot of people go fishing in that area, so they stay away. And so I saw it as a sign, that we got to see the dolphins. And I looked it up because I always say pay attention to nature as well. And what do dolphins mean? And they signify rebirth and protection. And I see that for myself. We're entering this new chapter, and this big change is coming with Jupiter, depending on what house it's going into for you on May 25th. For me, it's moving into career and honors. I do think the rejection part of my life is over, and I have a lot to look forward to. And we're working on a lot of big things, and I'm moving in silence. So you will hear about these things once they're done and completed. And one last thing I wanted to address before I sign off on this episode and head on a plane to New York, but I was talking about this to a few friends and my mom this week. And it's the fact that everyone is, telling me about family karma, and they love family karma, and I loved family karma. But if you've listened to the last episode, you know that I am quantum leaping. And in the quantum leap, the only example I can give you is I'm embodying future Anisha, and I am disassociating with people and things and circumstances that aren't worth me or my time, and that I'm no longer climbing uphill battles. And that's as of 2 years ago now. If it's weird or it's unsettling or it seems like it's never going to happen, you can stay the course, but your gut should tell you, okay, I got to pivot. If it's not serving me, I'm moving on, and I go where I'm wanted. I don't go where I'm not wanted, and I don't beg for things. And I'm no longer putting myself in situations in which I have to prove my worth or prove myself. You either see it in me or you don't. And if you don't, it's your loss. And so with family karma, it has nothing to do with my castmates. But future Anisha is not doing those things. I'm not going to jobs, places, or hanging out with people that don't value me. And so I am not going to beg a network to take me back or to give me another season. If they could, they would. If he could, he would. Same like the guy you're dating. If you've been dating him and you're waiting on a ring and he hasn't given it to you, leave. Same thing for me, guys. If we don't have another season, then I leave. If they want me, they will call me. And you have to remember, I'm embodying future me mentally because I don't want to waste more time. Your girl's turning 40. I want to quantum leap, fly. I want to quantum get on that rocket ship to the next level. I'm already on the escalator. And so it's like meeting this amazing love of your life, and every day someone keeps talking about the trash bag dude that dated you and ghosted you. I'm not thinking about the guy that ghosted me because I'm already with my dream man. I married him. And so I'm doing the same thing with my career. And I understand everyone loves the show, but we can't be on a show that they don't film. And you have to pivot and move on to the next. And that's exactly what I've done. I'm here to cheer everyone on. I'm here to support. Everyone's great, but I'm not going to live in the past. It's not what I'm doing. I'm embodying the future. I'm also no longer dimming my light to let others shine. And that has nothing to do with my cast or the show or anything, just in general. I want to be in rooms where I'm respected, where my voice matters, where my talent is praised and admired and cultivated. And I'm not aligned with fighting or fighting with my friends or fighting on TV. It's just not something I was ever aligned with. And I did it to make money and grow my business. And as soon as that didn't really happen, I checked out. And most importantly, I am no longer leaving my fate in the hands of others. As in, if this show or this opportunity doesn't work out, well, we're going to create another one. Remember, if the door's not open, as Kamala Harris said, sometimes you've got to fucking kick it down. Look it up. She said that. And when you're quantum leaping or going to the next level or embodying the future you that has everything you want, you're going to have to get rid of people, places, things, companies, jobs, relationships, everything that doesn't create respect for you. And that means even getting rid of some of your favorite people. And in my case, I had to do that. People that I loved, that I cherished, but didn't value me and respect me, I had to get rid of them because future me is not putting up with the bullshit, is not putting up with disrespect, because keeping them around just means you don't value yourself and you don't respect yourself. And that is not high vibe. And that's going to hinder the quantum leaping, the jumping process, the moving to the next level. It's just going to hold you back. And the number one thing people tell me when they meet me in person is, oh my God, you're so nice. Well, don't spread that. Stop telling people that. Let people think I'm a bitch. Let people think I'm an asshole. Let people think I think that I'm better than them. It's fine because I'm spending time and giving my time to people that know me and value me and love me and know who I really am. And not just like from 5 minutes of a meme or reel or TV show snippet that you saw. And a lot of people want to do nice things for me now. And they're like, you never let us do anything nice for you. Well, when I wanted you to do nice things for me, you didn't. When I needed you, you weren't there. And I think people fail to realize that. Like, it's when you're in the gutter, when you're in the trenches, when you're in the ditch, like that's when you need people. Okay. I don't need you on a Friday when I'm going to happy hour, when things are great. You know, it's when things are shit. That's when you need to be there for people. And when you're quantum leaping, things will go to shit at times. But this is the standard. We're setting the standard. I encourage you to set the standard because you deserve better. We deserve better. Those of us that have always been the people pleasers, the ones making sure everyone's okay at the party, like we have to worry about ourselves now. Especially me at 40 now. I'm like, I have to worry about myself. Like I'm done taking care of everyone around me. So set the standard for yourself and people aren't going to like it. When you start respecting yourself, when you start drawing the line, people aren't going to like it. A friend told me a couple weeks ago, I was taken aback by you, Anish. Well, yep, that's me now. Not putting up with the nonsense. When people are weird now or passive aggressive or aren't telling you what's going on now, like I just move on. I'm not trying to figure out what's wrong. We're not 4 years old. If you're acting weird, I don't have time for weird energy either. I'm out. And we have to stop beating ourselves up, because we didn't know better. We can't look at the past with regret because we didn't know any better. Lady Gaga said, it's the nerve. All you need is the nerve to do something, the audacity to do something. Use it towards your good to get what you want in life. In fact, I saw something else the other day. They were like nervous energy. I have a lot of nervous energy when I'm performing. It's like use that energy when you're feeling those shakes or, the bubbles in your stomach or the anxious stress. Like use that and think of what you want in life and switch that energy into getting what you want. But I have to pack and get on a plane. I'm heading to New York to record something special, podcast. And I am heading to a friend's 40th birthday. A bunch of us are turning 40 this year. The 1984 girlies were turning 40. And then I'm heading to Miami for my mom's birthday. And then I'll be in Dallas. So we've got a busy week. And then we're going to Tokyo for my husband's birthday after that. So thank you for listening. I love you guys. And remember, start moving in silence. Keep your dreams and wishes to yourself and just work on them quietly behind the scenes. Bye, guys.